Welcome to the Leadership and Learning Podcast with Dr. JBT, where we dive deep into the art of leadership for emerging and advancing leaders. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, this podcast is your go-to resource. We'll explore real-world scenarios, actionable solutions, and expert advice with insights drawn from Dr. JBT's own experiences and interviews with seasoned leaders. If you're serious about growing as a leader, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT. Today I want to talk about communication. This topic is multidimensional, and I can't possibly cover all aspects of it in a short podcast. Rather, I want to focus on 3 aspects of communication today: downward, upward, and across. Leaders must know that communication is foundational to being effective in the role. I would say that an ability to communicate effectively is a top skill needed for any leader. Let's look at downward, upward, and across. Let's call downward dissemination. Let's call upward spokesperson. Let's call across liaison. It is important for leaders to wear all 3 of these hats. Let's start with dissemination. It is your role as a leader to pass down information to your team. You are in meetings with your peers, your boss, and within topic-specific meetings, you need to ask yourself, what do I need to share with my team? In this way, think of yourself as a lighthouse keeper. From your vantage point, you can see the storms brewing, the ships arriving, and the tides shifting. Your teams are the sailors in the harbor. They don't have your vantage point and can only see what is happening if you shine the light. Your team needs to know what is going on. When you shine the light, they know what they need to do. It might be a decision that was made that impacts them. It might be a change in a process or policy. Whatever it is, they need to know, because the success of their jobs depends on this information. They feel safe and included in the bigger picture of what is happening. On the other hand, there is nothing more discouraging to a team member when they feel left out of the communication. When other teams know what is going on and one team does it, they don't feel valued or supported. This feeling impacts morale and productivity. Keeping with the lighthouse analogy, consider the chaos that occurs when the lighthouse is out. Ships can't see. Confusion increases. Conflict occurs. Your team needs you to shine the light. Otherwise, they will be confused about what is needed from them and frustrated with you and others because they are confused. Ask yourself, what information do you need to disseminate to your team this week? If there is confusion on your team, ask yourself if you forgot to disseminate something important to your team. Moving on to the spokesperson. It is your role as a leader to speak on behalf of your team. You are in meetings with your peers, your boss, and within topic-specific meetings. It is your role to advocate for the needs of your team, to share the highlights and success of your team, and to represent the challenges of your team. If you do not speak on behalf of your team, who will? Think of yourself as a microphone for your team. Have you ever been in a large room with people whispering in the audience and you can't hear the speaker? You want to shout out, "Get them a microphone!" because their voice is lost in the noise without one. In the same way, your team is working hard and getting results, and they also likely have obstacles. Without your voice, their voices are lost in the noisy whispers throughout the room. When you speak up in meetings, you amplify their accomplishments so others can recognize and celebrate them. In other words, people know what your team is doing and where they are succeeding. When challenges arise, you project their needs clearly, ensuring decision makers hear what's necessary for your team to succeed. Here is where you can get others to help remove obstacles or get resources allocated to your team that are needed. If you remain silent, your team's hard work risks going unnoticed and their needs unmet. And the only reason for this is because no one heard your voice. Be the microphone. I once heard a complaint that my team was getting more resources and attention than another area. When I further investigated the accusation, I realized that that leader was not speaking up for their team, and I was. I received resources because I asked for them and put together proposals for what we needed. The other leader didn't propose ideas and didn't ask, and also didn't share the team's challenges. If one area is under-resourced or under-recognized, then the leader is not doing well as the spokesperson. Ask yourself, what is one topic that you need to share out as a spokesperson for your team? Is it a new resource that you need? Is it a change in a process with other teams? Or is it to celebrate an achieved milestone so your team is recognized for quality and progress? Lastly, let's talk about the liaison. It is your role as a leader to collaborate across functions with other leaders. No team works in isolation of others. Organizations are systems, and systems are interconnected. Consider the human body. The digestive system is made up of many parts: the mouth for intake, the stomach for processing, the small intestine for absorption, the large intestine for filtering. Each organ has a unique function, yet none can succeed in isolation. Together, they form a seamless system that sustains the body, much like the way departments and teams sustain in an organization. If one part of the digestive system stops working, the whole body suffers. The same is true in organizations. If one department fails to communicate or align, the entire system feels that impact. Consider a process that touches many teams. I have seen leaders make changes to their part of a process, and it impacts another department that follows in the process, but the leader never communicates that change to the leader, and guess what happens? Chaos occurs. Imagine that. If leaders don't talk with their peers, organizations are massively missing out on efficient systems. Leaders, your role is to talk to your peers, share information, talk about the impact of changes with one another, and ideally, before you make the change. One time I worked at a place where one unit would not communicate with my unit. During a big change, we had agreed that one specific part of the change would not take place before a specific date. We all agreed upon that date, but that we would come back together in the future to determine when the change would actually take place. Well, the other unit made the change on that specific date without any communication with me. What happened? Chaos. Our numbers dropped, the phone stopped ringing, customers went silent. We didn't know what happened and spent a full morning researching the cause, only to find out that the other unit pulled the plug without telling us. And then, imagine this, refused to plug it back in. It took us months to recover from that lack of communication and unwillingness to compromise. It negatively impacted our customers, our employees, and the bottom line of our business. Please be a liaison. Ask yourself, have you ever considered the impact that your team has on other teams? Have you ever considered which teams your own team impacts? Are you interacting with the leaders over the departments that impact you most? Here are the takeaways from this episode. 1, you are a lighthouse. Your team needs you to shine the light by disseminating information. It doesn't just keep operations running smoothly, it fosters trust and increases efficiency and morale for your team. Be a disseminator. 2, you are a microphone. Your team needs you to be their voice. They need to be seen, supported, advocated for, and resourced well. Be a spokesperson. 3, you are part of a system. Your team is interdependent with other teams. By respecting these interdependencies, you are ensuring efficient flow and alignment, and ultimately ensuring each team's success. Be a liaison. This is Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT signing off.